Emrasiano
Oh, that stuff can get really ratty. And you can look like you got a dead spider on your eyelid.
and Michael Lucas.
I was surprised at how many different forms of vibrator she had on staff.
This is Emsolation.
What advice would you give your teenage self, Michael Lucas?
You're gay. It's pretty easy.
You're in Emsolation.
Hello there, and welcome to Emsolation, second place in the People's Choice Award at the Australian Podcast Awards. Thank you to everyone who voted. Oh, God, it feels good to say that. We're an award-winning podcast, guys.
At number 2, it's Emsolation.
My name is Emrasiano. I am a writer, a singer, a stand-up comedian, and a maximalist power queen. And together with my best friend since I was 11, Australian screenwriter, also award-winning, Mr. Michael Lucas. We bring you this podcast every Thursday. Oh, my God, I can't get this out quick enough. It is a big few weeks for your favourite pod. I have to tell you, right now as I'm recording, the AACTA Awards are about to start. My co-host, his show, The Newsreader, is obviously nominated for a plethora of awards. And what you're about to hear is he and I just getting pumped up. I'm his hype girl for the day. And then also later on in the podcast, I'll know the results. So there's going to be a little second part that you'll hear where I'll talk to you guys. Like, it'll just be me and you, and probably Chella, and we'll talk about whatever's gone down. So it's going to be the range of emotions today. Hang on. Talk a bit about Succession, the Oscars. It's very red carpet movie themed today. Oh, there's a little bit of me talking about how I have to... Oh, there's a lot of labia talk.
Well, I'm your genitals. What's up?
I'm not going to apologise. A lot of you have them. It's just like the idea of how women know when they've had a blowout, and how when Michael has something really big on, he gets mouth ulcers. I either get an explosive period or a cold sore or both. So before every single live show I've ever opened, I'll get an explosive period.
Is it too much period?
No, it's fine. It's totally normal. It's my favorite time of the month.
And then we talked about, anyway, you're here, yay. But I sincerely do want to thank every single one of you who voted for us in the Podcast Awards. I was genuinely excited. Well, we didn't win, but it felt like we won. I've never won anything for my work in the entertainment industry.
That's awful. Tragic.
I won everything in athletics.
Victory Screech!
But I've come into another industry where, look, I'm not that popular amongst my peers or, the powers that be within the infrastructure, because I do things my own way. And sometimes that pisses people off. So I don't often win anything. And the two things I have won, the first time I ever did Comedy Festival, I won the People's Choice Award. And the Podcast Awards, no exception to that rule, continuing on. But to be honest, it's what I care about, because you are who I make the stuff I make for. So I don't care if it's some unknown group of people judging my work that they probably don't listen to. I don't really care about the panels that award the awards. I care about the people that I make the stuff for, and the fact that you love us enough to bother to vote. Mate, I was beside myself. I was so happy. So that's all covered off in the pod too. I have a very busy week ahead. Of course, our live Christmas special is Sunday. I bumped the set in this week. We're going today we got a Harry Styles pictures printed. I'm rehearsed with the band last night.
So have yourself a merry little Christmas night.
It's just going to be such a wonderful night. If you haven't reserved your spot, please do. I want you all there. I don't understand why you wouldn't want to watch this podcast that you voted for, that you love, live. Michael and I will be there with his awards. We'll be chatting about the AACTA Awards. He'll be in a suit with naked elves on it. I'm going to have costume changes. I can't tell you enough how much you're going to love it. And it's only $5. And I feel like, without sounding like a dickhead, I feel like we've given you enough over the last 2 years for you to splash $5 on us. And Not for the money, because that's, I'm just going to cover the production of this and that's great. It's more that I just want you to know what we're capable of. I want you to experience that because I very much want to take Emsolation bigger. Next year I want us to be a visual medium as well. And this is the pilot. And you guys are going to witness it from your own lounge room. The Crowdcast app is totally safe. And remember, if you can't watch on Sunday night, you can watch it for a week afterwards. So I can't tell you how excited I am. So Michael's got the awards. We've got that happening. It's pretty cool. And also we're going to be doing an Emsolation summer series where I'm interviewing a bunch of really interesting people. And so you're not going to ever miss a week. There's not going to be a week over our break that you won't have a new episode of Emsolation to listen to. So, look, just looking after you because you look after me. Breathe. How am I? I'm exceptionally well. I did, as you know, was a bit wobbly before the Podcast Awards for reasons that get explained within this podcast, but some of you already knew it. But otherwise, I'm good. I'm watching a lot of Drag Race. I'm obsessing over Succession. What else have I been up to? I've been enjoying my training. I don't know. I come to you a very hyped up, excited human right now because my best friend is going to his Oscars. And I'm so happy for him. I'm going to get teary. I've watched Michael Lucas nearly kill himself over this show. He's been writing it for so many years. And it's a bit of a love letter to him and I also. And it's just nice when good things happen to good people. And a good friend of mine also, I've got Anthony McManus, one who wants to be a millionaire. Like some of you will know him. He comes to all my shows. I've known him a very long time. He's the kindest, most awesome human. He fucking won Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. He took out the million. So the universe is like looking after the good guys over the last little while. It really is. Fuck. Listen to my voice. She's hyped up. She's had her coffee. She's had her meds. She's ready to go. All right, that's enough from me. Thanks for being here. Please come to the live special. I know I sound maybe I'm borderlining desperate. It's not for the usual reason. Like, it doesn't matter how many of you, I won't see you. It's like it's a theatre and I'll know how many people are there. I want you to be a part of this for us. I want you to be a part of the journey. I want you to see us evolve. I want you to get excited about it. It's going to be great. I promise you. I guarantee you a good time Sunday night. Okay, that's enough from me. Talk soon. Play the music.
Em Rusciano and Michael Lucas. This is Emsolation.
Okay, I can barely contain my excitement. I feel like my child is getting married today.
We are gathered here today to celebrate the love between two people whose lives were ostensibly brought together by the fated flap of a butterfly wing.
Michael Lucas. It's here. The AACTA Awards, of which your show is nominated for 16, already won 2.
Oh, yeah.
How are you feeling?
I lost 4. Let's put that in context.
It doesn't matter. That doesn't count. How are you feeling? What's going on for you? Talk me through.
Do you want honesty?
Yeah, absolutely.
Look.
I want everyone to know we're going to chat now. The awards are going to happen and then I'm going to come back later on and update you all. So
it's so weird to be speaking about it and everyone's going to be hearing this when they know what happened. Look, I mean, the headline is, not much sleep. Not much sleep at all. And I wasn't particularly nervous. I always get this before events that there's been a big build up to. Like, I remember every Halloween I had when we saw Madonna, I lie in bed and my body's like, no, okay, let's just do some podcasts. What are we going to be doing here? And I get hot, I get cold, I need to go to the toilet. There was a lot of that. A lot of mouth ulcers, a lot of wandering around thinking, do I need to fart or am I about to have diarrhea? What's happening here? There's a lot of that sort of thing. But I've been, I'm old enough to now know this is standard. It's okay. Adrenaline will kick in. You'll be fine.
Oh, my God. Now, you did rehearsals for your presentation because Michael's presenting 2 awards, are you?
I am. I mean, I feel like I want to say I think they're very likely to not be televised. So they probably won't be on the telecast. But, yeah.
Hey, I presented 2 awards last week at the Podcast Awards, which we'll also talk about. And I stole the show, so feel free.
Hello, I'm Em Rusciano.
High fives. Hello, everyone. How are you?
Oh, no, mine's all, it's tight and it's scripted. Mine's essentially just like, here are the nominees for Best Director. Like, that's it.
So you can't swear and say you're on the lowest ever rating radio show in the history of radio?
I probably that wouldn't be appropriate. No. So the writers wrote in a little sort of half joke in one of the things that I will attempt to not murder. But no.
God.
But yeah, no, and then you've got to go to a full rehearsal, which I was a bit like, really? Do I need that? But then I got there, and on one hand, I was really glad that I did do it because, like, I don't know, just realising, okay, I've got to go to this mark and look at that teleprompter all the way over there and then all that sort of stuff. But then on the other hand, it just like, you look out and they've put like A4 pages of printouts of people's names. And so it's like this little preview of what you're going to be looking at. So you just see...
Whose names are we talking? What'd you see?
Taika Waititi sitting like the closest person to you when you're on stage.
This is very, very cool for me.
Then Baz Luhrmann, Sarah Snook, Simon Baker, like they're all sort of like this little constellation.
Oh my God! There's so many things to point out. First of all, Taika Waititi, obviously director of Thor, director of Marvel movies, director of What We Do in the Shadows, director of Boy, Hunt for the Wilder People, like one of our faves.
Rita Ora.
Rita Ora. I'm obsessed with the way you say your name.
Rita Ora.
Rita Ora. I've gone a bit off him of recent times.
Very attractive. The ultimate, the world's ultimate silver fox. I feel like George had that mantle for many decades, but now Taika has absolutely taken it and will not give it back for about 50 years.
Yeah, but I still feel like, did you leave your wife to upgrade to younger people when you got successful? Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. So, yeah, so he's there. And then we need to remind people of the full circle moment with Baz Luhrmann and you.
Yes, I was a little researcher for Baz Luhrmann when I was about, it was about like 16 years ago now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I worked for him for 2 years. I worked out of his house and it was my first job in the industry straight out of film school. And yeah, like I know. I mean, and I have seen him a couple of times since then over the years, but I don't think I've seen him in about 6 years. He's been
do you know how many times he's going to hear your TV show read out at the awards as a nominee? Like, oh my God! I like fizzing. I'm fizzing, I'm buzzing, I'm frothing.
He was the last time I saw him actually was when Offspring was nominated for a lot. And I personally was not nominated, but I was thanked a couple of times. And he was lovely. He came up and he congratulated me on that. So yes, this is different, bitch. You're the bride. Oh, man, it is like now that I'm here, obviously, you know, I was the kind of kid that grew, like maybe I even recorded the Oscars on VHS and rewatched them. Maybe, of course. So you think about it. But now that I'm here, I feel like this is a sadistic tradition. Like, what is it? I mean, obviously, I'm speaking to a former idol, so I don't know what I'm complaining about in terms of torturing people on television. But
I understand, yes.
Just tell us who's getting the award. Don't make us like go there, prepare our speeches manically. And obviously, you know, I don't want to read anything. So I've had to like memorize different versions of different speeches depending on what happens. And, you know, could get absolutely nothing. I don't know. Could J-Law at falling up the stairs? Just no idea.
You guys are just standing up because you feel bad that I fell, and that's really embarrassing, but thank you.
Oh my God. Now, Adrian's going to record stuff we might miss, or like we're going to make sure we get every angle, but how are you feeling? Like, which awards are you specifically will your name be said for?
If I win, I guess, best screenplay for television, yes.
Best screenplay for television, and?
I don't rate my chances that high for that one because I'm weirdly 2 of episodes of Newsreader have been nominated. So I'd have to like really do very well to get that. And then best drama series, yes, I'm a producer on that too. Yes, and that's the big one. But I mean, it's a fully stacked year, and a lot of the competition people that have won it, shows that have won it in the past, like Wentworth, I think has won it at least once. I know Jack Irish has 2, and Total Control has won it. So we're against a lot of big hitting former winners, and we're just in our first year. So
no.
I don't know. All I know is a lot of mouth ulcers. The other producer, Jo Werner, she's come up with a cold sore, like where.
Yeah, I got one. Before the podcast awards. Yeah, I manifested one.
Did you? But when you've got your opening nights of your show, I presume you don't sleep before that. Really? No.
I usually get an explosive period the night before. I don't think I've ever opened a show.
Would have really been. It did not.
I don't think I've ever opened a show
well slept
without. Yeah, no, without an explosive period appearing. I'm pretty sure. I think every single time. And you know what I wear on stage? It's an elaborate leotard. I could have a blowout at any moment.
It's not what you want to be wearing. I mean, it's not quite Victoria's Secret, but it's certainly not expansive trackies.
Oh, what do you think? No one's going to notice, right?
That the airbag in your pussy went off? It's possible.
And it's a special feeling that women get when you know that the structural integrity of your tampon or pad has been compromised. And so it's a heady mix of, like, while I'm on stage trying to remember lyrics and jokes, also like just clenching my labia together, the lips, just to check that there's no moisture there. Like, it's just every now and then I'll do a little check. All people who menstruate know what I'm talking about, because not just women menstruate. So, yeah, it's that just little momentary check of, okay, we've had a breach.
I really need some sort of performer's commentary on one of your stand-ups where you're explaining all this to me. See that vague little muscle twitch in my face? That is a labia clench.
It's a labia clench to check if there's been a breach.
But can I just, there has not been a breach on stage, has there?
Who even has a period that big, am I right?
Yeah, mine's just like a Skittle that falls out and I just throw it away.
A mild breach, maybe.
Maybe a mild breach, but sometimes I double pad. I double pad and super tampon.
Right.
Super tampon, double pad, plus 2 pairs of dancers tights.
How does it not look like you've got an enormous wang on the stage?
Well, it's kind of like a Barbie vision. So it really is quite good. Yeah.
Right,
it's like when a drag queen tucks. It just creates this lovely kind of what do they call that sport in America? A luge? What's the sport? Racquetball? You know, where it's like the racquetball what's that sport called where you pick the ball up in like a big fake nail? Lacrosse. Yeah, big fake nail.
Okay.
Good on you, Em.
It's like a lacrosse thing, but lacrosse is sort of like almost netted, isn't it? Anyway.
Well, it's like a cup. It's like, say a cricketing cup.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, made of pads.
Okay. All right. Well, I won't be wearing that.
Yeah, no, I'm glad we got there. We should briefly talk about the Podcast Awards. Congratulations, by the way, on being a part of an award-winning podcast.
Oh, thank you. Congratulations for you for the award, but mostly for blitzing it in the speech. We all know that was as important.
I'm fucking drunk. Like, it's the first time I've been away from it. Thank you. That's the most important thing, that I look amazing. Thank you so much. It's been a big fucking life.
Oh, shit. So, look, it's no secret. An hour before I found out an old radio co-host of mine was co-hosting, and I got a cold sore. And that's all you really need to know about my response to that. I haven't spoken to Harley since we finished radio, and I don't really want to talk about it. Enough of you know it didn't end well. And I didn't know that he was hosting the whole thing. And I also, I immediately, in front of Spotify, like our bosses, started crying in the foyer of the Podcast Awards. And, I mean, that's what you want.
Always what you want, especially in contract negotiation time.
We are in contract negotiation time. And but they were very lovely and understanding. Most of them are women and then one gay man.
Of course.
And so it was fine. And the awards were in a cinema. It was bad. The Spotify team was sitting there going, we're going to do this next year. And I said, can I do a musical opening number? And they said, yes. So I don't know. Maybe next year, who knows what will happen. But it was in a theatre, and there's been since a COVID alert, which I'm not surprised, because the foyer was squished and packed with podcasters, and podcasters are their own breed, you guys. Podcasters are usually people who are considered too weird for radio, and they've gone off and made niche shows and found niche audiences. There's no one there who's like general and broadcasty. We're all total weirdos. So it was a convention of weirdos. It was like sexy Dungeons and Dragons. And they're all in there like squish talking. And so Prithi and I, we're both weird introverts. We looked at each other and said, let's go into the theatre. So we sat in the empty theatre, thank God, for the entire pre. And then during the show, we just sat next to each other, and I had to go up and present 2 awards. So I, of course, had like 4 glasses of wine, which for me is like, I'm done.
I think that bubbly tasted better coming up than it did going down.
Well, you could have been a carrot stuck in your fascinator.
And just before I had to go up and present, I said to Prithi, I'm really drunk.
Yeah.
And she said, great. And so I had to take...
You had the best shut up, mummy needs to lie down energy about you, but in the best way. It was actually perfectly calibrated, I think.
I think we've got a bit of the speech here. We'll play it.
You may remember me from the lowest rating breakfast radio show of all time. think at one point the 24-hour fishing condition station was outrating me, so fucking thank you, Spotify, for paying me what I am worth. Woo! You better take that away because my bosses are there and I'm a live performer and there's been no fucking... I need this job, guys. I need Spotify. I love you. I love you so much. I love you. I love you so much.
And the nominees are?
Not a speech. I was presenting an award. I gave a speech, but I wasn't supposed to. But the real hero here was Rowdy Walden, my friend. He's another podcaster with Spotify. He's incredible. He's Indigenous. And he actually called the hosts out for not doing a welcome to country before the show. So he was like, he was having his moment. And I said to him, I need you as an emotional support person, please. And I gave him no notice. So he took my arm and he came up on stage with me and he did all the heavy lifting. And then after it, I ran back to my seat. Then we got to our category. We didn't even enter anything. I didn't enter us in anything, which I made very clear on stage.
We didn't enter. I couldn't be bothered. It was very hard to do the fucking clips and it was a lockdown.
On to the winners.
I noticed that we got named in the top 10 and then I started sitting there going, I am so drunk. If I have to give a speech, if we win, we're fucked. We're fucked. And then it kept counting down and Prithi was like squeezing my arm going, oh my God, are you going to win? I said, I hope not because I don't know what's going to happen. And then we got second, which is huge. 780 podcasts were entered into that category.
Wow, that is bananas.
And they got over 40.
The perfect position for the drunken, emotional person.
Yeah, but I'm a bit sick of second in the Masked Singer, second in the Podcast Awards. So you better bring home the big W for us. I'm telling ya.
Oh, God. Pressure. Oh.
But it was a good night. It was horrific, but I got through it and I don't have COVID. So, all's well that ends well.
Because it was touch and go whether you were going to go. I mean, we were in Omicron land and then at one point I got a text going, I'm in Sydney. And I'm like, oh, okay. She's there. She's done it. She's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was just the last minute. You know what I'm like? I'm like, oh, fuck it, I'm just going to go. It was actually really nice to be in a hotel room like by myself. So, yeah, it was good. Well done to us.
Thank you to the Emsolators for that incredible voting.
Oh, it was all them. And that's the only award I care about because the rest of the awards are voted for by some obscure panel that, I don't know, probably would never listen to us in a million years. But actual
And also,
people,
realistically, I mean, this is the same of all awards, but how do you, podcasts, at least with, TV dramas, there's actually, in Australia, there's not that many of them. There's only about 12 a year. So, that, at least there's a contained number that you're comparing podcasts. There's how many hundreds of them? It's crazy.
So many.
And they're all trying to do such different things. How the hell are we supposed to? I know they categorize, but even amongst the comedic, friends talking category, I mean, there's Jesus Christ. We're hardly the same as, we're not exactly Hamish and Andy.
No, we're not. So I agree. But everyone, the vibe on the night was that the one that we got second in is the one that mattered. Totally the vibe on the night. It was like, because everyone takes notice that you've got enough people who like you.
The ferocity of your audience.
So good. Fuck, I felt powerful.
For the honor of
All right, moving on. We're going to go away. We're going to come back. We're going to talk about more TV and movies because...
It's an awards super special.
Correct.
Em Rusciano and Michael Lucas. This is Emsolation.
Okay, Michael Lucas, the reviews are in for the Nicole Kidman, Lucille Ball biopic.
I need you to help me save my marriage.
How many times I gotta explain where I was and what I was doing?
You gotta explain.
You being funny right now?
I'm Lucille Ball. When I'm being funny, you'll know. If they boo me...
If they boo you, we're done.
And mixed.
Well, I think in a twist, if you went back 4 months ago, everyone would have been saying, Aaron Sorkin does I Love Lucy, can't wait, love it, but Nicole Kidman, what's he thinking of, why is she there? Actually, the reviews have come in and all of them essentially say Nicole Kidman, absolutely amazing. Aaron Sorkin probably over Sorkined at this time. That's the vibe that I get from reading them. Having said that, you and I both, we're very generous when it comes to Aaron Sorkin. So I still feel like we're going to love it.
Oh, yeah. I heard the script described as claustrophobic rat-a-tat-tat Sorkin.
It's your life.
Pretty much. So, yeah, but she's getting rave reviews. Right. So I'm happy.
For all elements, for the imitation of Lucy doing the sitcom, for the way she portrays Lucy in the workplace, and for the emotional stuff as well, all of it.
Yeah. I'm Happy for knickers.
Oh, me too.
Yes.
She puts herself out there. She really does. She doesn't take the easy path. She takes a risk. Sometimes she's doing a Russian accent with a really weird wig and it may not entirely 100% pay off for her, but then she'll just turn around and go, you know what? I've taken on the single funniest woman of the 20th century and you know what? I blissed it, bitch. Just shut up.
Surrender yourself to me.
Fucking oath. She really has. And so we obviously, we've been speaking about it a bit. We're obsessed with the Best Actress category at the Oscars. So roll them out. It hasn't been announced, but we assume it's going to be.
Well, Nicole Kidman. It will be in there. Potentially, although I think it's looking a little shakier, but she's still in the mix. Lady Gaga for Patrizia Reggiani, House of Gucci.
House of Gucci.
House of Gucci.
I'm also, House of Gucci doesn't come out till next year in Australia, and Adrian is really having to work now to sustain the hype. Like, he's still wandering around talking an accent as Patrizia, but we've got a long way to go. Anyway.
I know. Yeah, Jessica Chastain.
Eyes of Tammy Faye.
The Eyes of Tammy Faye, and of course Kristen Stewart and Spencer.
There's people floating around. Like Olivia Colman is back in the mix, and there's also apparently the remake of West Side Story is amazing, and the Maria, who's come straight from a high school production of Shrek straight into her first film role as Maria. Apparently she's astonishing. So there's just people left, right, and centre. Frances McDormand is back in something.
Yes.
It is a stacked year.
Well, Kristen Stewart's going to win. There's my prediction. Fucking Bella Swan from Twilight is going to take out the Best Actress gong.
Claims she doesn't care about it.
I don't give a shit. That's why she's going to win. I'm telling you. The Eyes of Tammy Faye is at 66% on Rotten Tomatoes. Being the Ricardos is at 66%. House of Gucci is at 61%. Spencer, 84%. And the other movies, I haven't looked up, but they were my main ones. And sometimes what happens is an actor can win, even if they're in a dodgy biopic, which they often are. Mm-hmm. If the performance is good enough, a la Rami Malek in the Freddie Mercury biopic, often it can happen.
West Side Story is 94%, by the way, but she doesn't have to – the girl that plays Maria, as brilliant as she is – does not have to imitate someone famous. And that adds people respect that.
100%. And so Kristen Stewart is in a movie where her performance is being absolutely praised, but the movie itself is also being praised. So she's got tick, not dodgy but good performance. Mm. So that's why I think we're going to be seeing the most awkward, nonplussed, non-committal Oscars speech. She mightn't even come. She might send in a little recording, a cameo video.
No, she'll come. I hope she comes. I want the Valium and weed sort of half asleep drawl.
I hope she's in a
speech.
suit. I love it. I'm so excited for this. I think she will. I'm confident. But I'm going to have, you and I are going to have to be sedated for the Oscars next year. Gaga will be in the mix.
Oh, yeah, I know. And also, let's keep in mind as well, I don't want to get you too excited, but there's also that movie, I think it's called King Richard, that's about Serena and
Serena Williams.
Yes, and Beyonce has written an original song for it. So it could be another Oscars year where we see a Beyonce performance. I can't believe. Oh, my God. Why did Gaga not write a song for House of Gucci? That feels un-Gaga-like.
True, but I think, and I was reading a really interesting article, I think she was just so focused on she didn't want to not be Patrizia at any time. I think that would have, because she went full method. And it's interesting, I was reading an article around Jeremy Strong, who plays Kendall. Did you read it? Who plays Kendall Roy in Succession. Yeah, so he plays Ken, the very troubled son who broke away from the family.
Go on, tell us who's here.
Who isn't?
Your dad?
Your mom.
Your wife and kids.
And his performances are so fucking haunting. I text you after one episode and said, I've never felt more like a hollowed out billionaire just looking for connection in my life. I leave watching Succession feeling so unsettled. Do you feel unsettled?
Oh, yeah. It's a very sort of deep kind of wrenching pain that comes from dysfunctional families, and also piled onto that just everything that's wrong with the world, with wealth, with power, with it's just this toxic brew that you walk out with. And he seems to carry it all as he wanders around bashing through presents looking for his kid's present at his 40th birthday and all the things that he does. He really,
the 40th birthday. I need therapy over the 40th birthday episode. Oh, my gosh.
I think the party's over, yeah?
Yeah. Just a party. Let it fizzle.
But I read an article where he stays in character. He methods this shit. He's always Kendall. And a couple of his castmates, Logan, what's the actor's name who plays the dad?
Brian Cox.
Brian Cox and Kieran Culkin, both who plays Roman, said, we hate it. It's awful. Like, Brian was more diplomatic, don't you think?
Yeah, I mean, this is the most clanging name-droppy thing ever. I've actually briefly met the cast of Succession. I really have. And I went to a Q&A. Sarah, lovely Sarah, took me and it took me.
Sarah Snook, let's point out, plays Shiv, who's one of Michael's friends. Michael cast her in his movie. It was her breakthrough role in the industry. They know each other. They text each other personally. Continue on.
They were all on stage doing a panel and they were talking amongst the panel about Jeremy Strong's performance style. And you could see Sarah and Kieran, a bit like Roman and Shiv, got a kind of like sneaky looks to each other and a little bit of an attack of the giggles as Jeremy started to speak in this very sort of earnest way about his process. And then Brian Cox cut in and went, he's so fucking annoying, but the performance is so good, you just think it's worth it, but fuck, it's annoying. It was amazing. And then afterwards, it was a big screen. It was this. We watched the season 2 finale, and then afterwards, I spoke to him. And you know, you obviously go, oh, that was amazing and everything like that. And then everyone's like, oh, thanks. And he was like, came up to me and was like, oh, what did you find amazing about it? And was like eyeballing me. And I'm like, oh, I think the amazing thing was seeing it on the big screen. You could really see all the aspects of the performance, like little aspects that I hadn't noticed before were just there. And he's like, well, yeah. Maybe they should play it on the big screen. They should release it. They should release it in cinemas. Why aren't we doing that? It was just really intense. And he had got
so
completely
he was
silver
Kendall.
hair. Completely silver hair. That was the other show. It's all died. It's not real.
So you spoke to Jeremy Strong, but basically you spoke to Kendall Roy.
Yeah. And the thing about it is, like, Jeremy as an actor was desperate to be, as his profile talks about, was desperate to be one of the greats for years and years and years, and was just doing everything he could, killing himself. And in a way that is Kendall. Like, he's in the shadow of this great, his father. But I mean, happily, in Jeremy's case, he's now an Emmy-winning, like, he's achieved it. Everyone thinks he's given one of the greatest television performances probably of all time. So
I put this to you. We don't see female method actors because people won't put up with that from women.
Oh, Gaga.
I think it's... but that's what I mean. That she's one of the first ever.
Well, Nicole said that.
Nicole Kidman,
on Nine Perfect Strangers, she stayed, which, yeah.
But got negatively reported on. And Gaga hasn't. But, okay, so we've got 2, which is very recent times. But I think it's a real kind of misogynist, because it's usually men running film sets traditionally. Even now we're struggling with the female directors. And I don't think that a woman would be allowed to behave, say her character is an asshole for the whole movie. I don't think that her behaviour would be put up with because women aren't allowed to be them. Yes.
Men are precise and they're talented and they're commanding, and women are just difficult.
Yeah, she's being difficult. No, I'm being Patrizia. Now fuck off and get my camera. I love that. Of course, Gaga didn't give a shit what people thought of her, and she didn't care if anyone thought she was being a diva because she was method. And I realised the double standard, and I hadn't until I read that article about him and thought, fuck.
It's wild. And also the other thing that is really wild about it is Succession, I think for anyone that really loves it, is very unmistakably a black comedy. And maybe it does take you a couple of episodes before you feel like you're in the rhythm of why it's so funny. But once you're in, particularly with characters like Cousin Greg and Shiv's husband Tom, it's unmistakably hilarious and cutting, brutal, acid one-liners. And Jeremy Strong apparently does not see it as a comedy at all, quite affronted. And often the contrast between what he's doing and everyone else is often what's really, really funny in it. But he is not tuned into that at all. He is just playing Kendall's truth, feeling it in his gut.
Playing Kendall's truth. Oh, my God, he is. All right. Well, look, I'm going to let you go because I'm going to record a bit more later. I'm so excited for you. I can't wait to see the red carpet stuff. You've got your blue suit ready.
Oh, we've got the reveal of what happened in terms of obviously there was the top 2 Emsolators options. And let's just say both are going to be making an appearance.
Oh, gee, I wonder how the other one will be making an appearance. Who'd have thought?
I don't know what to expect, whether I'm going to be successfully snapping pictures or whether I'm just going to be... I'm already a bit... okay, this is first world problems.
No, keep going. Talk about it,
So there's the midday ABC pre-function that I'm expected to go to, and that's where all the Newsreader cast will be. But then in addition to that, there's for the presenters and everything of the actors, they've sort of insisted that I go to an opera house function that's at the same time. So presumably I'll just do that. I don't know what time to do anyway.
All right, so what I want to do is if you get any chances to record any voice memos on your phone, you know what I mean?
I'm just going to be flat out. This is the first thing that drops off the list. But sure.
No,
it's
if you're
at the after party, something like that.
Yeah. But also just little thoughts like, okay, I'm backstage waiting for my award, or if there's any voice notes you want to make, everyone will be glad to hear them. But also, obviously, if you have a chance to get any famous person to acknowledge us, I mean, I set the challenge. To you, sir. No pressure.
Hi,
no pressure.
Taika.
It's gonna be good.
No, I'm not. Okay, if I find myself in the proximity of Taika Waititi, I'm telling you, I'm not saying, can you record a message for the podcast? I sound like I want to make him do an ad campaign, and I kind of would be.
Yeah, 100%. All right, well, good luck, and obviously we'll speak later, but... Oh, my God. All right. Go, get ready. I'm so excited.
All right. Thank you.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
This is Emsolation.
Well, hello. You've got to the end, and it is many hours after Michael and I spoke, and the Newsreader won Best Drama. Oh, my goodness. Here's the moment Rebel Wilson announced it.
And the AACTA Award for Best Drama Series goes to the Newsreader.
And to our director, Emma Freeman. The show was in large part... It was a show that was about some pretty terrible bosses, and Emma was the absolute inverse of that, with such vision and patience and talent and sheer bloody stamina, and we wouldn't be here without her, so thank you, Emma.
Oh, my goodness. Now, look, he didn't win Best Adaptation of a Screenplay to Television, didn't win the Best Writer thing, but, I think he was robbed. There, I said it. Am I a one-eyed Michael Lucas supporter? Yes. And I wish he could have had more time to speak. I wish everyone had have thanked him as well, but that's okay. The lady who spoke is Jo Werner, and she co-produced the show with Michael's production company, Hats Off. And she thought he was going to win, as we all did, the Best Writing Award. So I know she'll probably be feeling bad for not thanking him. So I am going to thank Michael Lucas for writing such an amazing TV show. I'm so excited for my friend. I saw the journey. I watched him nearly kill himself doing this during a pandemic, all the revisions. Oh, my goodness. I'm so proud of him. Well done, Michael Lucas. Oh, my goodness. He won. And Anna Torv took out Best Actress. William McInnes got Best Supporting Actor. All that shouting paid off. So good. So Michael and I were doing a full debrief on Sunday night during the live Christmas special. So if you want to be able to see the award and hear about all the after party, he's already met and spoken to Taika. He's sending me photos with him with Sarah Snook and him with Lisa Wilkinson and him with Baz Luhrmann. Isn't it ironic? Earlier we were talking about what a full circle moment it was, and then Baz came up to him and asked him for a selfie. Yes, Queen. So there you go. It all worked out. What a big year. What a big year this little pod has had. I mean, I'm going to bask in the reflective glow, but I'm just glad someone took out a win. Enough second places from me. Michael's bringing it home for all of us. So we'll be chatting more, obviously, on Sunday Night Live, where you'll be able to see him and see it all. It's very exciting. So make sure you've got your spots. That's all I'm saying. I'm going to keep saying it because there's no excuse for you not to be there watching us talk all about the after party, the red carpet moments, just all the stories he can legally tell. Don't worry, I'm going to pump him for them. Oh, I've been waiting all day to record this. I'm so excited. Well done, Michael Lucas. I know you'll be listening. And guys, we'll see you Sunday night. That's so cool to be able to finally say it's nearly here. Sunday night, the Emsolation Christmas Live Spectacular is occurring. I'll eyeball you guys. You get to talk to us live, see us make it the podcast live. It's very exciting. And well done again, Michael Lucas. I'm very proud of you. Love you very much. You really deserve this. I can't think of anyone more deserving. All right, guys.
See you Sunday.
Emsolation with Em Rusciano is a Spotify exclusive podcast hosted by Em Rusciano with Michael Lucas. Executive produced by Benjamin Wasley. Produced by Em Rusciano. Edited by Ezekiel Fan at Entente Music. With videos by Liam O'Brien. Socials by Marcella Rusciano Barrow. With assistance from Jem Evans and Georgia Watts. Plus occasional technical wizardry, wine and coffee from Em's dad Vincy. Get more Emsolation by following the Emsolation podcast on Instagram, where you can also sign up for our weekly newsletter. You can join other Emsolators at the Emsolation group on Facebook. The answer is Harry Styles. If you love what we do, share this podcast with a friend and make sure you're following us on the Spotify app. Thanks for taking time out to listen to this week's episode, and we look forward to chatting with you again soon.